Hi everyone! Excuse my lack of eye makeup. I'm not feeling very well and just didn't feel like doing eye makeup for this video. But today I have a tutorial for you on foundation, concealer, and highlight and contour using the Makeup Forever Flash palette, which I'm really excited to finally own. I think it's a really good palette to have because it's versatile. You can do all your makeup pretty much except like mascara, which I'm sure you could figure out a way to do, and like primer and setting spray, which are optional based on the needs of your skin. Obviously setting powder you can't do with this, but that's also optional based on the needs of your skin. This tutorial is going to tell you how to mix colors using the palette and how to apply them. I'm kind of an amateur at this, but I think it turned out pretty well. The camera doesn't really capture it well enough. Like, this is cream colors, so it has, really good coverage, and it also makes me look really washed out in the camera, but in real life, I can mix these and they perfectly match my skin tone. So if you'd like to find out how to do this, keep watching. During the video, I'm going to be talking in parts, like one part this to one part that, and based on how much you think you need, a part can be, whatever amount that you want, but I'll just say 5 parts white to 1 part, what's the color, like coral. And so, that would give you proportions but not give you actual amounts. The amounts are up to you. The amounts I use are pretty much like dips of my finger into the cream or dips of my butter knife into the cream. So, this tutorial is up to interpretation, and I hope you enjoy. So thanks for watching. Bye. First, I had cleanse and moisturize face. I've been mixing these 2 cleansers because one exfoliates and one moisturizes. And then this Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. I just use the little tip to get that all over my face, and then I rub it in. Watch out for your brows if you did them first. I don't like doing my brows first. I just wanted them to be done, but I don't like doing that. I like to do them after foundation. And so for my concealer, I mixed about 2 parts of coral with about 5 parts of white, and 1 part of yellow. And I just mix those with my finger on a paper plate. Like I said, I'm like super primitive about this, but it's pretty much my first time. And so I'm just dabbing this under my eyes, and the reason I didn't put green in this is because you want to always have a pink toned concealer under your eyes. And so I just dab it in with the warmth of my fingers and get it really close to the bottom of the lash line. And I wanted to do my concealer first, mostly so I could get around the brows, so that when I do my foundation sloppily like I do, it doesn't ruin them. And then I'm just going over my problem areas, and in hindsight, I don't know why I put any like green in it to cover up redness. I should have, but I didn't. So I would recommend doing that. I literally just use the same mixture, but put in a tiny bit of green, like half a part of green if you're doing this. And then I take the Sigma F70 and I just really tightly line the bottom of my brows with the same concealer mixture. And then I blend it downward so there's not like a super just harsh brow line. If you were doing eye makeup with your primer, then it would blend into that. And then I do the tops as well, again, so that when I go in with my foundation and my flat foundation brush, I'm not like ruining my brows and just getting all sloppy with it. So I just get all the way around my brows with this brush and with the same concealer mixture like you see here. And then I just pat out my problem areas a little bit just so when I go over with foundation, it's a little bit better. And then for my foundation, I mixed 5 parts white to 1 part green to 1 part brown to like half a part of yellow and 3 parts of coral. And with that, I'm just starting with what's on my fingers because I use my fingers to mix it. And I'm just getting that on my face first and then blending it out with this tweezerman flat top foundation brush. And there are some areas you could see that weren't blended, like I got a little white on there, but as long as you're blending and pressing hard, because this is a cream and you're pressing it into your skin, but as long as you're blending well, those little unmixed sections that you might mess up on because you're like me, you'll be able to blend those out. And as you can see, this is just like what I like to call my base layer. Like literally I get what's like on my fingers or just laying around, and I put that on and blend it in. And as you can see with this, it's already got like really, really good coverage. So this Flash palette, I don't know if it's gonna break me out yet, but it's got, you know, great coverage. So that's a plus. And as you could see before, I blended out like around my eyebrows with my fingers because I was just so scared of ruining them. But yeah, I'm just mostly pressing, rubbing a little bit, but not too much because you don't want to do that too much with cream products. I'm just getting that all in there. And this is just me doing more. After a while, after I've used what's on my fingers, I dip it into what I mixed, and I actually dip the brush into what I mixed because what's cool with cream products, it's different from like liquid products, is that it doesn't get down into the fibers of the brush as much, so it's not dirtying up the brush as much. So that's another plus, using the Flash palette for your face. And so I'm just pressing that all over the place until I'm getting my desired coverage. And I smeared my brow, which made me really sad, as you can see. I was trying so hard not to do this. Oh well, nobody's perfect. And after, you know, I've gotten most of my areas, I just go back where there's redness, which tends to be on my cheeks, my chin, and around my lips and nose, and just get another thin little layer on there. This has great coverage and it looks pretty natural. That is awesome sauce. And another thing, this is good for pretty much most types of skin, so yeah. Okay, and then I'm going in with this Avon Loose Translucent Powder and Translucent Glow, and with the Sigma F50 Duo Fiber, and I'm just going over, I have like really dry skin, so I don't have to worry about areas getting shiny. I just set it so that it doesn't rub off on my nose, around my mouth, same areas as before, and under my eyes. And then for the bronzer, I took about 3 parts of brown with like half a part of white just to lighten it up a bit, and then just like not even a full part of just a tiniest little bit of yellow. And I mixed those together, and then I dabbed what was on my fingers and on under my cheekbones, up in my temples, and under my chin. And then I'm just taking this Sigma F40, which is an angled contouring brush. I had to warm up to this brush. It's really fluffy and nice, but at first I didn't like it, but now I love it. And I just blend that all together until my contour is looking really nice. Sorry if you can hear clicking in the background. That's my boyfriend playing video games. He's upset. And then I take the Sigma, oh shoot, medium angled shading. What's it called? I want to say it's called the E70. And I just contour my nose, just dipping it into what I mixed on the paper plate. I'm just going up and down the bridge of my nose. I should have mixed a little bit more for this. I didn't have enough, and I like a little bit heavier nose contour, and so this isn't working for me. And I wasn't able to blend it inward to make my nose thinner, so I didn't have enough, yeah. Mix a little more. And then for my highlight, I took about 5 parts white with a tiny part of silver, and then a tiny, tiny little bit of peach, like just the tiniest little bit. You don't want this to really be that pink, but you don't want it to be white, white. And I dabbed it on my nose, on my Cupid's bow, on my chin, up in my T-zone, and then on the tops of my cheekbones. And at first I tried to blend it with a brush, but I didn't like that as much, so I just used my finger and used the warmth of my fingers to sort of pat it in and blend it in with the foundation, and it worked really well. And the camera's not capturing it, but this was a great highlight. Like, it worked really well, especially with the silver. Ignore the glitter on my face. For my last tutorial, glitter kind of got everywhere, and I'm just lazy. But yeah, it works really well to just use your finger to melt this into your skin. And then I went over with the brush just for a little bit of extra oomph. And there you have it, a face of concealer, foundation, and contour, all using the Makeup Forever Flash palette plus setting powder. But like I said before, that's optional. So please like, rate, and subscribe. Tell me if you want to see more Flash palette tutorials, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.